Dear pioneers, today, I want to discuss a technical metric that has been debated ad nauseum in the cryptocurrency circle, yet rarely truly reflected upon: TPS transactions per second. Over the past year, especially since the opening of the mainnet, I have frequently seen voices in the community asking, Dr. Fan, the public chain next door claims their TPS has reached 100,000, or even 1 million. Pi network doesn't seem that wild. Have we fallen behind? Can our TPS support global payments? I completely understand this anxiety. In traditional blockchain narratives, TPS seems to have become the sole gold standard. For measuring whether a public chain is impressive, people habitually compare public chains to highways, assuming that the wider the lanes, the higher the TPS, the better the road. However, today I invite you to temporarily set aside those evaluation systems constructed by capital and speculators. Join me in returning to the origin, and let us re-examine this issue through the lens of an anthropologist and a social scientist. What kind of speed do we actually need? And whose needs is Pi Network's endgame truly meant to satisfy? First, let's clarify the concept. What is TPS? Simply put, it is the number of transactions a system can process per second. In the crypto world, there exist two distinct, parallel universes. The first universe, I call the universe of high-frequency quantitative finance, or the Wall Street mode. In this universe, the protagonists are not humans, but machines, algorithms, and high-frequency trading bots. Look at those public chains claiming tens of thousands of TPS. What are their main application scenarios? They are for order book matching on decentralized exchanges, complex financial derivative arbitrage, and flash loans. In those scenarios, a delay of mere milliseconds means a huge loss of profit. Bot A needs to complete the action of buying and selling within 100th of a second, just before Bot B reacts. To support this war between machine and machine, these public chains must pursue extreme TPS. But at what cost? The cost is extreme centralization. To be fast, they must use expensive, top-tier servers as nodes, and ordinary person's computer simply cannot run them. To be fast, they even occasionally experience downtime, because the system is strung too tight. In that world, there is no place for humans. That is an arena for code, a meat grinder for capital. The second universe is the universe where Pi Network resides. I call it the universe of real human life, or the Main Street mode. In this universe, the protagonists are you, me, the lady selling coffee on the street corner, and the father wanting to send money to his child far away. Please close your eyes and imagine, when you walk into a Starbucks or buy a cup of coffee at a StarMax contracted merchant, what kind of experience do you need? Do you need a speed of 10,000 TPS? No, you don't, because you scan the code, input the amount. Click confirm, the clerk sees the receipt, and smiles as they hand you the coffee. This entire sequence of human behaviors takes at least 10 seconds, if not longer. For a payment network, what you truly need is not the ability to process 100 million transactions per second. Because that coffee shop cannot sell 100 million cups in a second, what you need is certainty and low latency. You need to know that within 3 to 5 seconds of clicking send, the other party will definitely receive the transaction successful green checkmark. This is the fundamental difference between high-frequency small payments and low-frequency, large-scale finance. In this real universe, transactions occur alongside human social and commercial activities. Human physical actions have limits, and human commercial circulation has cycles. We do not need to sacrifice the network's decentralization and security just to satisfy the arbitrage needs of robots. This answers why Pi Network does not blindly pursue a theoretically ultra-high TPS. Our endgame is not to have robots from all over the world, conducting high-frequency quantitative trading on Pi Network, turning Pi into a massive casino chip. Our endgame is buying coffee, buying bread, paying rent, and paying wages. But does this mean Pi Network is slow? Absolutely not. Quite the opposite. The Stellar Consensus Protocol, upon which Pi Network is based, is one of the best protocols in the world in terms of human perceived speed. People often confuse throughput, TPS, with latency, confirmation time. Bitcoin's TPS is 7, but its confirmation time is 10 minutes, or even an hour. Ethereum's TPS is in the dozens, with confirmation times also in the minutes. Pi Network, while we don't brag about hundreds of thousands of TPS, has a confirmation time of 3 to 5 seconds. What does this mean? It means that in the scenario of buying coffee, Pi's experience crushes Bitcoin, and is even superior to many high TPS chains that require multiple confirmations. Because for the few seconds you wait at the counter, fast confirmation is far more important than there are 1 million other people trading in the system. This second, more importantly, to achieve this human-serving architecture. We made a great trade-off. If we were to pursue 100,000 TPS, we would have to raise the node threshold extremely high, so high that only data centers could run them. In that case, we would have to cut off the 300,000 plus nodes distributed around the world running on ordinary PCs. In that scenario, Pi network would become a corporate chain controlled by only a few dozen supernodes. It would be fast, but it would no longer belong to you. It would no longer be secure, because it would be vulnerable to single-point attacks. We chose broad decentralization. We allow nodes with different network environments and hardware configurations to exist in the network. This indeed limits the upper limit of TPS at the physical level. But what it trades for is the most resilient consensus security network in human history. In 2026, when AI fraud is rampant and centralized servers frequently suffer hacker attacks, you will find that security and decentralization are far more expensive than speed. Furthermore, we must recognize that TPS is not a dead number. It can scale horizontally with demand. Currently, Pi Network's Layer 1 is sufficient to support the daily low-frequency usage of tens of millions of people. If, in the future, billions of people worldwide are using Pi to buy breakfast every day, and our TPS isn't enough, what then? The tech world already has the answer. Layer 2, sidechains, state channels. We can absolutely run high-frequency micropayments on sidechains and put the final settlement on the main chain. Just as we don't need to record every candy purchase on the central bank's general ledger. So, pioneers, do not be led astray by the marketing jargon of TPS supremacy. Those are PPT figures made for venture capitalists, not product experiences made for real users. Please look at the Pi apps in your hands. When you tip in Blind Lounge, when you pay wages on Workflet, do you feel any lag? If not, then this TPS is perfect for you. Pi Network's design philosophy is, and always will be, human-centric. We do not serve greedy machines. We serve living, breathing people. We do not pursue K-lines that fluctuate thousands of times a second in an exchange. We pursue real exchanges happening every moment in convenience stores around the globe. We do not pursue allowing a minority to harvest wealth through high-frequency trading. We pursue allowing ordinary people to enjoy the convenience of digital finance through low-barrier participation. Buying coffee may seem like a small thing, but it represents the holy grail of cryptocurrency, mass adoption. Bitcoin took 15 years to become digital gold, locked in the safe. Ethereum took 10 years to become digital oil, burning in the engines of DeFi. And Pi Network, we will use our time to make it digital cash, flowing at everyone's fingertips. This requires our network to be inclusive enough, inclusive of regions with poor internet, inclusive of computers with low specs, inclusive of ordinary people who don't understand technology. This inclusivity inevitably sacrifices some extreme performance data, but this is a great compromise, because it is precisely this compromise that has allowed Pi Network to possess the user base of over 60 million real global users we have today. Let me ask you, among those public chains with TPS reaching millions, does even a single one possess a real flesh and blood community, like PI? No, they only have idling servers and fake transaction volumes. So, on this day in 2026, when I face questions like, can we beat Ethereum, or is the TPS high enough? Again, I will smile and tell you, we are not on the same track. They are on the Formula One racetrack, pursuing extreme speed, but only professional drivers can drive there. And it is easy to crash. We are building an urban road system. We pursue connectivity, the order of traffic lights, and ensuring that the grandmothers driving grocery carts, the young people on bicycles, and the commuters on buses can all reach their destinations safely and smoothly. Pi's endgame is not to become a cold, high-speed calculator. Pi's endgame is to become the internet of value for human society. In this web, every confirmation is a transfer of trust. Every transaction is an exchange of value. This is 10,000 times sexier than any dry TPS number. Thank you all.